Eustace Kid versus Blackbeard. So Eustace Kid, you know, he's basically switched with law, right? And he went to Winter Island, right, to fight against Blackbeard. Knowing how Kid is, right, he's gonna go in there charged up, ready to throw down, right? He's telling his crew members, "I'm gonna be king of the pirates. Just let me handle this shit. Your captain got this shit." He's saying shit like that, right? And they're believing him. I mean, Blackbeard, out of the four OG, or out of the four emperors, post time skip, he had the least amount of experience being an emperor. So they might be like, "Yeah, Captain, you're cool. You probably got this guy." But then they see his crew. Now, I'll say this about Kid's crew, and I do think this. Kid's crew members, see, actually, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. This is a 1v1. We don't have that. So Blackbeard don't have the help of his crew, but he wouldn't need it. Um, in this fight, it's just Kid versus Blackbeard on Winter Island. Let's see how this goes. So strength, Blackbeard has the physical strength. He super strong, but he's stronger than Kid. Physically stronger. Attacks from that Gura, he uses his fist. He's gonna destroy anything that Kid has constructed out of, junk, right? That's just being blown the fuck apart. Along with his, any of his, like, it hits his body. Of course, he's gonna feel that, right? Speed does go to Kid. I do got Kid speed, over Blackbeard. Most people are faster than Blackbeard, and that's not no lie. Like Fukuro might be faster than Blackbeard, or not might be. He is. So Kid is definitely faster. That keeps him in the fight a little bit longer than it usually would. Durability, though, strangely enough, you know what? That goes to Kid. We understand why, right? Under, like, circumstances of Blackbeard having his devil fruit, physical pain, he uses the yami yami or the dark fruit, you know. He doesn't have resistance to, like, blunt force attacks, cuts, all that shit is, like, increased, so if he gets a cut, it hurts even worse than a regular cut. It's like he got his arm chopped off, even though it's not even like that. He gets burned, or frozen over. It's like, he feels extra pain. But it's because of the side effects of the devil fruit, the dark fruit. You can nullify a devil fruit, but then if you get cut or you get, hit, you feel that pain extra. Not as tough. So, and then Kid could also, he can put up barriers and shit, right? But he ain't known to be very, very durable either. But I think he's a little more tougher than Blackbeard, just slightly though. You know, endurance though, I still got Blackbeard. Both of these characters aren't known to fight for days and days, but I think Blackbeard could outlast Kid. You know what his name has in it, right? And you know who his daddy is, right? Intelligence goes to Blackbeard. He has the element of surprise on his side. You know, do I have to say anymore? Experience goes to Blackbeard too. He was out at sea way before Kid was. He was a member of the Whitebeard Pirates, remember? Close skills, I'll give it to Kid. I think that Kid could, he has slightly better close skills than Blackbeard. But range skills, I'm giving that shit to Blackbeard. He'll turn off Kid's devil fruit from a distance. And then it's a hockey, battle. Well, Kid has to use his hockey, which he ain't the best at using Conqueror's hockey. Recoup goes to Blackbeard. And then hacks go to Blackbeard as well. Because he has 2 devil fruits in his hockey's, mid. But also, Kid's hockey's mid too. And he has an awakened devil fruit, Kid does. But Blackbeard has 2 devil fruits. So we give it to him for the hacks. And then environment, it's on Winter Island. Blackbeard knows it a little better. So Blackbeard gets that. And with this, Blackbeard wins mid to high difficulty against Kid. It didn't matter where he went. He was gonna probably lose. Luffy was the only one who was meant to move forward. And that's why he was one of the 4 emperors. They didn't get credit for it, right? They didn't get crowned an emperor after they defeated Big Mom. It took their combined effort. Luffy, he had some help, but then he was the one who was putting more damage on him. And he was ultimately the one that defeated him. So, that's this fight. Kid loses to Blackbeard, mid to high diff. Let me know what you think about that in the comments and be cool.